the President of the Republic of France, Emmanuel Macron.
Majoring in political science and economics. My question has to do with last year's presidential election. Obviously, it was the...
We have a lot of debates between France and the United States regarding climate change. I mean, it's not a breaking news. But whatever the decision of the US federal government could be, we will have to deal with this climate change. I think the first victims of climate change are poor people and poor regions. Just bear that in mind. The first victims of climate change today are some islands in Pacific. They can disappear in the coming years or decades.
I'm in the School of Business.
My generation will do its best in order for your generation to have the choice to choose. But it will be the duty of your generation to do the job.
My first question is about the growing anti-Semitism.
So what we are doing, and the first focus, is this war against ISIS. Your president said that he will stop the involvement of the US troops as soon as the war against ISIS is finished, is completed. We're in the same position, and we increased our participation to the international coalition. We announced this increase this week. So our willingness is to be totally committed in this war against ISIS, no more than that.
I'm a student in the International Affairs program here. In Ouagadougou,
our first challenge in Syria is not about war. We have to finish this war against ISIS. It's to win peace, to build an inclusive state, to be sure that all the minorities, all the people in Syria will be entitled to live, express themselves and vote. And that's where our common leadership is very important, with our allies in the regions and with the different parties, and first of all, with the Syrian parties. Because we should never forget that the ones to decide for their own future are the Syrians.
Many young people here have been inspired by your progress and the République En Marche. And I'm wondering, what advice do you have for us who might be frustrated by this or struggling against a two-party system?
Trying to push this idea that we can gather people from the left and the right to have a new progressive view for the country, trying to address this critical challenge of our current world on economy, on development, on migration, on energy, and so on. Everybody said it was totally impossible. But because people decided it was not impossible, we made it.
Thank you.
Is there a gentleman from this section?
And don't believe those who say, that's the rule of the game. Don't question the rule of the game. It's always been like that. You have to follow these rules. That's bullshit.
We'll start with this section. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Ladies will be...
So if it makes sense in your country to build new initiatives, to gather all the progressists, if your frustrations are not properly addressed by your teachers, and sorry, Mr. President, for that, don't blame your teachers. Just consider there is something wrong in the system, and let's disrupt together the system. It's your job.
economic cooperation with countries. However, I'm curious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.